What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I am Craig, and we're going to go over the charts real quick. This is going to be a super quick video, but what I'm going to do is start out with the bigger time frames and go down into the more immediate time frame. We'll go into the 4 hour at the very end. So make sure you stick around for the whole video so you get an idea of what we could be looking for Bitcoin. Our charts have been dead on for well over a year. We are the only channel that has called this market structure to the T for Bitcoin. So let's take a look at what's going on. Pre-markets right now, Dow's down 61 points, S&P's down 675, and NASDAQ futures down 625. Hopefully this video gets out before open. If you guys would, take 1 second out, scroll down, smash that thumbs up, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think of the video after you watch it. Also, leave your comments and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. If you subscribe, make sure you tick your notification bell. A lot of people are saying they're not getting notified when I post new videos. So make sure, even if you are already subscribed, make sure you check your notification bells and make sure they're ticked. All right, let's take a look at what's going on. So this is our Dow Jones chart, which has been playing out beautifully. Are we ready for a bounce? Let's take a look at what's going on here. We have not come down and tested our daily RSI yet. Chances are this is most likely going to be a down day. Will it be a massive down day? Can't really judge that, but I do know we talked about an open and close below this 31,417, which we did. We opened yesterday below and closed below. That is bearish. That doesn't mean we can't come back up and retest that area, but we have confirmed bearishness on this for sure. Eventually, you guys know my target's down here around 28, and if that breaks, we could be going down to 22, and if that breaks, much worse. I've showed that on prior videos. So here is my DXY chart. So far playing out beautifully, still looking for the 112, but remember, if that 112 breaks, and that may take a couple weeks to get up there, may happen this week, who knows, but when it gets up there, if it does break, and we look over into the, actually, let's look at the weekly. As you guys know, I'm extremely bullish on the DXY. One thing I want to point out, a lot of people are trying to say there's bearish divergence in the DXY. Maybe some people even say bullish divergence. You cannot use the money flow for one thing, because there's no money flow going in. It's just a index. It's not traded. It's an index of the dollar compared to other currencies. You can't use the RSI to find divergence, because that's not what's happening. It's not a traded index. Anyone you're following that's telling you to look for the divergence and that stuff on the DXY, which is an untraded index, don't listen to them. You cannot do that. So the 112, if we break 112, our next target's 122. And then for the very long term, I think this is a falling wedge. The breakout of that is around 178 to 180. Maybe that never happens, but be cautious, because it could. And if it does, that is bad news for all the markets. Let's take a look at Bitcoin on the monthly. So we are back below our monthly trend line. We had talked about this for a very long time, since up here. Right now, the monthly targets. Now remember, when we go into smaller time frames, the targets change. This is the monthly. This could take time, but we had this bear flag drawn in here. The measured move from the break of that bear flag is right around that 14.5, and that shows up in a lot of our charts. Now, the big bear flag, looking at the break of the trend right here, down to the bottom, looking at that as the flagpole, coming down, that gets us down to $3,500, $3,000 to $4,000 range, maybe $5,000, somewhere in there, but that will take a long time. And I've explained in yesterday's video, if you haven't watched it, about a false bottom theory, where we'll get a false bottom between 7,500 and 8,500 range towards the end of the year, get a big bounce, maybe to 16 or so, maybe 17, and then come back down for our ultimate bottom in 2023. Just my theory, but so far it has been playing out beautifully if you've been following this channel. All right, let's take a look at these targets. This is on the weekly. So if we look at the weekly targets, we had our first target right here was the measured move of this channel. Boom, nailed it. And then we had a little bear flag in there. Boom, nailed it. And now we've had a rising broadening wedge here, and we have these lower targets, right? What we'll do here is look at the lower targets. Look at this whole thing from the break of the trend right down here to where it broke, that gets us down to about the 3,800 range, right? Again, this is a weekly. This takes time, but we have to see what's going on in the bigger time frames to understand what's going on in the smaller time frames. And no, I don't sell courses because every video is a course. You can go back and look at my videos. You can learn a lot. If you don't put in the time, you're not going to learn. You can't buy a course and be a good trader. That's not how it works, guys. So anyway, so if we look at this as rising broadening wedge, boom, go down, that's 14.5 also. Remember when we broke out here on the weekly, I told you if we broke below the 20,800, that was going to be very, very bearish. It was very, very bearish. All right, let's take a look at the smaller time frames. We'll go into the daily, but first, make sure you guys check out Prime XBT. If you guys are interested in trading, they're by far my favorite exchange. You can trade the Dow, S&P, gold, silver, oil, Forex, everything, all from one exchange. Definitely check them out. They're not a scam exchange. Don't get scam wicks. They don't trade against you. You can use my promo code SAVVY50. That'll get you up to a $7,000 bonus. SAVVY25 will get you 25% off your fees. There's the links down below. There's also a tutorial on my YouTube page. So on the daily, as you guys know, once we seen this 5 waves over here, after we called the top at 64, right? We've seen the 5 waves. I said there's no way that this next move is going to, rally to 100,000 like everyone said. I said it would be a big ABC bull trap, and that's exactly what we got. And then once we broke, in December 2nd, I started talking on December 2nd. I made a video that's also on my page when you open it up, where I talked about the Amazon compared to Bitcoin before anybody was talking about it. I even said it on that video that everybody would talk about it eventually, and they are. So on December 2nd, we talked about this possibly playing out just like it has. And if we go from right here, let's look at this. We had a measured move from the break of this rising broadening wedge. Once it broke down over here, I'm showing you guys how I get these targets, right? So that got us down to that 24.2 range, right? We knew that target was going to hit, or we thought it was very likely. I said once that broke, our next target was this 17.5, which hit. You can see here, this rising channel. This was our measured move that got us that 24.2 range. So we got down there and I said if that broke, that would become resistance, and that's exactly what it did. And then we look for our next target. So we go from the break of this trend down to the bottom here, bring it over to the break, and that got us at 17.7. We also got that in smaller time frames. But one of the key things I want to point out here is look at this daily RSI, guys. We got our 3 touches on the top, 2 on the bottom. I think we come out and at least touch this again, which could very likely get us all the way down to that 7,500. Now, if we get a bounce here, a lot of people are expecting a double bottom on the 17.7 range. I don't think that's going to happen. I think once we may bounce around it for a while, but I don't think we're going to get a huge rally. I think we're going to break through that and start heading down to that 14.5. And then ultimately, if 14.5 breaks, we'll be looking for the $7,000 to $8,000 range, right? We do have much lower targets. We talked about that in yesterday's video. If you want to see it, like I said, I want to make this kind of quick. So the 4 hour, we'll also break this down in the 1 hour right afterwards. But as you can see in the 4 hour here, let me zoom in. You can see we did not quite touch here, right? Let me show you. We did not quite touch. It was pretty close. I guess you could say we did touch this 4 hour trend line. We're getting a bounce there now. We're going to zoom into the 1 hour and look for divergence. But as of right now, people are talking about this hidden bullish divergence, which is higher highs or higher lows in the RSI, lower lows in the price action, which is hidden bearish divergence, right? Saying that right? I'm confusing myself. Yes. Actually, no, that's bearish divergence or bullish divergence. Either way, I do believe if we do get a pop up, I don't see us getting past this 19.6, 19.7 area. If we do get a rally, that's if the markets have some type of rally today, get up to this range. But we hit our 4 hour targets to the T. If you guys watched yesterday's video of actually all the way over the weekend, I was saying if we broke 19.6, that it was going to be a swift move to the downside. And that's exactly what happened. And we made our white, you can see this is a white triangle. Yesterday, I showed you the white target right here. And that was the break of that. If it broke, I told you, look for 18.5. We hit it. We did not quite get 18.5, pretty damn close. But for the weeks prior to that, we've had these targets here. And why? I'll show you. And I do believe we'll eventually hit these targets. So now we're getting support on that 18.6. But let me show you how I got those targets, right? So if we take from the break of this yellow trend line right here, right? That's going to give us one target. I'll show you here in a minute. And then we take this blue one from this blue trend line break, right? We're going to also look at that. Well, we're just going to do that now. So look at the blue trend line break right here, right? Draw the line straight down to the bottom of the flag, that being the flagpole, bring it down. And that gets us that 18.7 that we talked about for weeks, that we would most likely be seeing this, which we have. And then our next, if that breaks, right, then we had our target of this wedge right here, bear flag, whatever you want to call it. That was that 18.5 range, right? Showed you that yesterday. I actually think I drew that on the video. That's why this is white. It's just because of it was the measured move of this, right? But once we break below that, our next target being from the break of this yellow trend line, just like we did the other ones. See how this line broke? Bring it down, looking at that as the flagpole to the bottom of the flag, and bring that down. That gets us our next target around that 18,100 range. Now, if we break below this and this starts acting as resistance, let's go from the break of the white trend line right up here to the bottom. And that gets us, there you have it, that 17.5, which everybody's expecting to be a double bottom. And I've showed you in a lot of videos in the past, right? So let's talk about this real quick. So this bottom right here, everyone thought for sure it was going to hold. That was the 20, what was it? 20,700. We blew right through. We actually had a few of those, right? Over here, let's see. Let me show you. Let's get up here. So we had this bottom here that everyone swore was the low, 33,000. Took a while, but once we broke, we didn't even get a bounce there, guys. We just broke right through, right? Never came back up to that level to test it. Then our next one was right here around 25.3. Got a bounce. Everyone swore that was the bottom. And then when we were coming down, they were expecting a double bounce. Boom, it didn't hold, dropped right through. Same thing I think is going to happen with 17.5, guys. I think we're going to come down. Everyone's expecting a double bottom bounce. And I think we're just going to blow right through into the weekly and monthly targets I showed you guys. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you smash the likes. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what coins you would like to start looking at. I usually take a look at some other coins. I haven't done it in a while, but the most responses I get for whatever coin in the bottom or even stock chart, I'll add into a video one day this week. So definitely do that. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for all the support on the channel. Have a great day.